Coast woke up at the same time. Right? If you look at the original OG Pyru blood, his name was Puddin'. If you look at the original 5% Father God Allah, he was affectionately called Puddin'. Right? You got two different things going on two different coasts. They telling you where the proof at. And the proof came up in Detroit. And the proof gave us the pale face dragon, the white dragon, the one that spit the fire, the God flow in the pink face. Because they said we couldn't do it. Right? So now when you go back to the history and you find out that Dr. Dre was actively looking for a pale face spitter because somebody told him to look for a pale face spitter. We need a white dragon. What we need a white dragon for? Because the proof is in the pudding. That means he not really pale face. He got a drop of blood. And he gonna be able to express himself to the tribes, and he gonna be able to cross the bridge from what they call mainstream and underground rap. He come out of the battle rap scene. This ain't no accident, ain't none. Everything is on the script. Everything is on the script. So once you get the proof out the pudding, that was the end of the era of hip hop, what we call the rebellion hip hop, second wave, new generation hip hop. Started in the 90s, like 90, 91. Right? And this is when it was carried, the baton was carried by Chuck D through Public Enemy, who passed it to Ice Cube to take it back out west, because sooner or later we're going to have to nip this in the bud. So we're going to have to find this dude from Chicago coming off Kershaw, but we're going to have to mirror him with somebody out west coming off Crenshaw. Because when you write them both in cursive, they look damn near the same. Mirror flipping. This is tribal warfare. The tribes fight their war. They challenge us to a conjure war. Curtis Jackson conjure, the unstoppable conjure. The March of the Mayors. Right? They don't even know what I'm talking about. Old New Orleans conjure man, Curtis Jackson. Money getter from day one. Gorilla knocker. So he got to come out on the Gorilla Clan.
You talking about 50 Cent?
G-Unit. I told you, you got to have a dog in every fight, and you got to know where your dog at in order to collect your motherfucking money. Every one of the chiefs had a job they was born to do, but they don't know what it is. But if they can be true to themselves, they can be seen. Mm. And they did their job because I seen them.
They could be authentic, huh?
Yeah. Authenticity. BDL just dropped the clip. Say authenticity is the highest frequency you can vibrate on earth.
Yo, somebody do the research. I want to know how much the Schumann resonance spiked during the Super Bowl. We got to really see the signs.
You know what? That's a good idea, Rich. I didn't even check.
Yeah, we got to somebody do that research. Let me know, family. I'm gonna check it.
It'll probably be within 3 days after.
Yeah.
You will see the spike. But the Schumann for the Crip Walk, you're not looking for Schumann. You're looking for, they got a Doppler lightning strike map. That's the one you need to look at, because then you can see the activity and where the energy hit at the hardest around the world. Oh. You see, they got Koreans and Vietnamese and Japanese doing reenactments. They got Africans doing reenactments of the Super Bowl. Kendrick.
Yeah.
You got hillbillies doing it. You got bikers doing it. You got old mechanics doing it. And they all putting out their TikToks imitating. Just go on TikTok and put in Super Bowl imitation or Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl imitation. You're gonna show all the people doing that. It's around the world. It's not just local. Look, they say 100 and 15 million people signed off after the performance, and they said that because of that, people hated the performance so bad that they didn't want to watch the game. That's BS. They left for two reasons. In the first half, at the end of the first half, Donald J left. But they stayed 115 million, or it might have been 175 million. I can't remember. But it was over 100 and some million people. Still watched us all the way through to the end of the performance. And then when Kendrick got done, they was gone. And they end up with a second half viewing of about 65 million people. The average Super Bowl attendance, but they said that Kendrick ran everybody off with his performance. I think they came to see Kendrick.
Man, yeah, this is wow. This was one of them ones, y'all.
This is a cultural divide. You can't fake influence.
Said,
we know our culture. If you from this land, you know when you see the New Orleans getting ready for Mardi Gras, you got two options. Start putting on some feathers or second line march steps, practicing. That's it. Or you got to leave. Then that's your other option. Or you got to leave. You can't be down there in their way while they trying to, they tell stories with their clothes, with their feathers. They're telling stories. They got history lessons for other tribes that come down there and just how they dressed. That's not just the Mardi Gras celebration is not what it is to a Mardi Gras Indian. They historians. They telling you what's going on the land. That's why they be trying to villainize it and call it evil all the time. Because they don't want, if there's certain ones of these sisters go down there and they never been down there and see that, she gonna wake straight up. They gonna tell her the whole story and it's gonna turn her mitochondria up and she gonna go back home and she gonna be like, something ain't right. I don't know what it is. But after about a couple weeks, it's gonna click to it and it's gonna be over with. That's to keep us away from it, especially the ones that they call church mothers. The ones that's the church mother, the most powerful sisters in the community. And we thinking that because they in the church, that they from the Jesus story. They ain't from the Jesus story. They from the tribes of the land. And they still carrying out the same function they did in the long house, in the big house, and in the short house. They still doing tribal mother stuff. They just doing it under the color of Christianity now. But you thinking it's Christianity because they doing it, but they ain't doing it where the church came from. The church mothers don't run nothing in Europe. They halfway don't want a woman sitting on the podium in Europe. Male, chauvinistic, pedophile priest cult. Did I leave out homosexual? That's what they is. They don't like women. That's why they keep marrying drag queens. Like Barbara Bush named Big Buddy. Big linebacker.
Let me I'm gonna get to about 2 questions from the family before we get out of here, because I can't be on here too long tonight. Somebody asked, somebody sent the super chat. They asked, oh, by the way, because I see somebody posted your Cash App. Let me throw rods, because I don't want y'all to follow anybody else's Cash App and it be the wrong one. All right, I just put, be careful donating to other Cash Apps, family. You know, I don't want y'all to donate to the wrong one. But Rod Hayes Cash App, we got 3,200 people in the digital building, so make sure you support this brother for the information that he gave us tonight. His Cash App is $SikApe. That's capital SIK, capital APE. Once again, make sure the spelling is right, family. We don't want this going to the wrong Cash App. Somebody said, what is your Cash App, Rich? I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the screen. It's the same name as the channel. $Black Magic 363. Same name as the channel. Same thing. Make sure you support Rod Hayes. Very, very important that when we have individuals like this, that we show the individuals love. And like I said, I just don't want to go into the wrong person. So yeah, we don't want that. But listen, let me get a couple of questions from the family. Somebody with the super chat said, were Moors later called Indians?
In the war, the MUUR Moors is the tribal Moors. The MOOR are the European Moors. But the catch term MOOR included both of them when it became the Conjure War. The Conjure War was the death of Crispus Attucks in the Civil War, first blood in the war.
He works with Dame. He used to work with Dame Dash. He posted a video clip of Bobby with Bobby saying how dance used to heal us, and there was a conspiracy to eliminate dance within music because dance was used to killing us, bro.
Under the black codes, this is what gave rise to what we call the hole in the wall in the juke joint. We wasn't allowed to have places where we congregated and danced. That was against the law.
Damn.
It was literally illegal under this system, this emerging system of Americanism, for us to sing and dance. Our singing and our dancing, when we see certain people come, our singing and dancing increase because they know victory is close. But when other people come, our singing and dancing, like for instance, remember I was telling you about the Crip Walk for a long time, then you seen the effect of it. The energy shift from Cali now, that's called, it's like playing tennis. They returning to serve. The line dances, the Midwest going into the South, right? And then they mingling it with the Southern New Orleans cultural movement to come up with this boots on the ground movement. This is us showing our solidarity and our love for one another in the face of the enemy in a manner that he know we showing it, and now he can't do nothing about it. Right? Now we don't need crooked man walking on the land. We don't need the lightning bolt. We don't need, because they ready. Now we need to see, is the love gonna come? Are we gonna really, really make it happen? Is the boots on the ground, are we gonna really kick the shit into the fan? It's coming. It's coming. Because you got to remember, all of this music in America come from Mississippian culture. It all traced back to what we call the Delta Blues, to the Mississippi Delta. And it was the love songs of the man that was learning his woman, and he was identifying his mistakes, and he was telling you how to correct them. But then they stopped us from listening to the music. They villainized the ragtime because they was trying to force classical music on us and opera, European cultural phenomenons of the Moors. We was rebellious to it. This is when Scott Joplin decided to create ragtime. It was a different stroke of them 88 keys in a manner that a person that played classical couldn't always keep up.
So was classical us or not?
Classical is Moorish. It's European Moorish. Our answer to European Moorish classical music was ragtime, which gave birth to all fields of jazz.
You fuck with classical music, right? They say that the best music for your brain. Moorish European, right? That's what they say.
Well, certain words like Bach, Beethoven, the music was originally designed to open up channels in the mind, but because we had a more confrontational character, they had a more subdued character, so their music wasn't appealing to us. When we wanted to make classical music appealing to us, we created the different genres of jazz. Jazz is the old Mississippi interpretation of classical music.
I want a shout out. I just looked up. I seen we got over 4,000 people in the chat. Damn, we deep up in here tonight, y'all. Shout out to over
Got boots
4.
on the ground. Where them fans at?
Where them fans at? Shit, boots on the ground. Damn, we deep up in here tonight, y'all. Shout out to all of y'all. Rod, what I want to ask you, we're talking about altered states of consciousness, and I need you to give us the game. Don't hold back. Don't say I ain't gonna tell these niggas they gotta work for it. Rod, I need to know if you are able to, like I said, you recommended this book to me, and you like, yo, Rich, I seen that book in the astral realm. How does Rod Hayes, or how do we tap in to this altered state of consciousness to get information the way you do? You're a different type of scholar. We all recognize it. We all appreciate it. We all see it. We see when you on the show with me, you always blowing it down. You the chief. You the big chief. You blowing it down. You know what I'm saying? All the time. So how are you able to tap in to these altered states of consciousness? Because I know a lot of people will love to emulate what you do and get their own version to that will help them individually. How are you able to do this, Rod?
Well, the book that you just showed us, the Book of Yahweh.
Yeah.
When I was studying the Emerald Tablets of Thoth.
Yeah.
And I was using some techniques from that book.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know they was working until I started finding stuff. Like, it's hard to distinguish an astral travel from a dream. I always been called a dreamer, dream walker since I was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They just call me the dream walker and the prophet because I used to visually see stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I used to have dreams that would come into reality. So I already had a head start. The training program is to study dreams, to study astral travel, and to study remote viewing. The more you understand any faculty of mind, the easier it is to access it. Mm-hmm. Right? And once you start accessing it, you just have to keep doing it. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Right. I always was a loner type. I like to be by myself a lot. And I used to have people talking to me that I couldn't see, and it used to piss me off. So I can't see these people. I don't know where they at, but I can hear them talking to me like I hear you talking right now. And it used to piss me off. I used to get angry because I'm in this room full of people. I don't know if it's these people playing games with me or if it's these people I can't see that's trying to tell me something. Because by the time I was like maybe 7, I knew it was a difference in the people I couldn't see, the information that they would tell me, and then the people that I'll be in a room with would tell me some different information. And a lot of time, the information that the people I can't see tell me is more accurate when I follow up to find out how do it work. What is this? So I used to tell my mama stuff. My mama used to say, baby, you got to be careful. You can't tell people everything you thinking because they're going to think you crazy and drug you up and make you lose your mind. Mm-hmm. And if you lose your mind, you lose your soul. And I was like, what the hell? And you know, she's telling this to a 4, 5, 6-year-old. Right? But all of the tools are available by studying ESP, by studying astral projection, hemisync. The more you study, the more you can tap into the faculty. Once you recognize how it feels, if you get smells, some people get scents come in, some people get sounds come in. But once you've realized what it takes for you to enter into that altered state, you can duplicate it. But if you never pay attention to what your mind is doing, what your body is feeling, you ain't gonna never be able to tap in, and you gonna always be one of those people that think everybody else is crazy and you the only one know something. Right.
Rod, let me ask you this. Oh man, see, listen, family. I tell you, I'm the spiritual hype man. The show really just started. The show really just started, family. We have just started. That was just the intro. This shit just started, family. Rod, listen, so I've been watching a lot of like they got these shows on YouTube where these white dudes they go to Europe, not Europe, I'm sorry. They go to Africa and they be with these tribes and shit like that. And they experience how they the tribes live, and they record it or whatever. And just watching that and my knowledge of always seeing people over in Africa, we're talking about altered states, Rod. They always, you know what they always do when they want to tap into an altered state? And when I want to ask you because this, I told you, one of my closest friends was from South Africa, and South Africa seemed like they got some shit popping over there. They always got a damn mask on, Rod. What is it about the mask in altered states? And is this do the indigenous in America use the same thing? Is this an African thing? Is this an American thing?
It was a global phenomenon of any tribal system.
Talk to me about the mask. Why is the mask so important to tapping in to altered states, higher dimensions? Right now people use drugs. Back then they use masks, Rod. What is it about the mask, Rod? And while you answer that, I'm gonna put the mask on. Go ahead. While you answer that.
So the mask is a physical object that holds a frequency. Whoever make the mask charges the mask with the energy of who or what is trying to repeatedly access. Not just the mask, the statuary too. Like I was going to ask you about the statue that's holding your mic, right? Because she looks slightly African, but she also look a little Cambodian. But this is because some of those masks are thousands of years old. They've been used by so many shamans that if you are from that bloodline and you put it on, it instantly triggers something in your DNA to wake that part of you up. I like that one, by the way, Brother Rich.
Good job. I'm having a good time today, y'all. Good, all right.
Yeah. So those are called sympathies in the occult. They call it a sympathy because it establishes a sympathetic link to a frequency, wavelength, bloodline, character, archetype, and all of that focuses your mirror cells. Right behind your forehead, you have what's called mirror cells in your prefrontal lobe. The object that's been repeatedly charged for so long by so many people, if it's in your bloodline, you can use it. You can use your great-grandmama picture for a mask if you're trying to tap into her energy.
Wow.
You know, but this is why they always was telling us in Islam, pictures is haram. They had a equanimical council on whether they would use the statues of the apostles on the altar and all that stuff, because they were trying to figure out how much of this would they give us access to. That's all it is. You got access to everything, but people are trying to keep the access from you by telling you you don't. But just because they told you don't do it, don't mean you ain't supposed to do it. This is where you come up with your left hand magic and your right hand magic, right? If you don't know who, we all know Michael is the right hand angel of God. Well, who was the left hand angel of God? They don't ever tell you that. Who? Because the left hand angel of God is truly destructive, right? So the right hand angel of God is strictly defensive. He's just blocking and stopping and putting barriers and obstacles in the enemy path. But when the left hand of God is unleashed, he gonna bring down the hammer. He's coming for the drama. They don't want to talk about that. Because now you start tapping into a different frequency that is a liberating frequency. All of this, your brain operate off frequencies. You got alpha wave, theta wave, delta wave, zeta waves. Each one of these wavelengths carry a different type of information, right? You learn best when you in alpha state, right? So you also, alpha state is also what they call the hypnotic induction state.
Right.
Right. But I forget which one when you wide awake. I think it's like the delta state or the beta state. That's the one where you live in your reality and you ain't paying attention to the stuff that's hidden in plain sight. But when you merge alpha, beta, delta, zeta wave together and you get them all working in harmony, now you have hemisync, full brain access. Then your two chambers of your left brain ain't beating by themselves. Now your right brain beating with your left brain. Now you got to balance that out. And now you got 4 chambers in your brain that's sucking that sacred secretion to the top like a vacuum. You got to pump in the back of your neck. You got to pump at the base of your spine.
Right.
Why? What they pumping?
What are they pumping?
Cerebral spinal fluid is called the silver fluid. But the one that they call the Christos fluid is the golden elixir, the golden fluid that travels up the spine. Yeah. You can't never access it with only one half of your brain. And this is why they always try to teach all children to be right-handed. I say, don't teach them to be right-handed. Teach them to be ambidextrous where they can activate both sides. Don't force them to stop using their left. Just help them with their right. If they want to write with you write left-handed Monday, on Tuesday you write right-handed. Wednesday you write left-handed, Thursday you write right-handed. Right? And you alternate it like that until they good with both hands. You see in calligraphy studies in Japan, right, you see a person that has the brain separated in 4 quadrants. That means they can operate upper left brain, lower left brain, upper right brain, lower right brain. Right. And they can write something different with left hand, left foot, right foot.
You know, I told you before, Rod. I told you this. I noticed this because I played piano. I said, you know, both of my hands have a different personality. So
yeah,
I play something with my right hand, I could play something with my left hand, and I'd be like, damn, why didn't I think about that before? And I'd be like, oh shit, because it was my right hand playing before. My left hand is playing something completely different. The same when writing, because sometimes I practice writing with my left hand. It's a different thought process that happens in my mind. So we have been cut off from a significant part of our magic by not using both hands, because your left hand could come up with some shit that your right hand can't. We don't even know it because we don't use it, bro. This shit is crazy, man.
And the first thing somebody will tell you, I tried to write with my left hand, but it was too hard.
Yeah, the first thing, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not hard.
So they quit.
Your left hand is untrained. Your right hand is well trained.
That's all it is. Dude, thank you, my brother. Thank you.
It's Michael Jordan at 13 versus Michael Jordan at 33.
I love that analogy because it's a Michael Jordan analogy with both hands. With both, I love that. Was a good one. That was a good one.
If you go back at 13, Mike wasn't even playing basketball. He's playing baseball.
He said he sucked. Yeah, he sucked at 13. Yeah, that was a good analogy. Oh man.
Right. But once he started playing basketball, right, when he was 33, he was the GOAT.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Look what happened in the 20-year shift. He changed his whole sport, right? And he changed how he performed. Matter of fact, if you remember when he first came, he was relentless to the basket. Remember? Mm-hmm. But then when he took the retirement year off, he came back, he had something called a fadeaway.
Fadeaway. He had to develop the fadeaway, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That means that he had to train a whole new basketball skill set and altered his game in order to take him to even another level.
Indeed.
You see, so we think we don't want to do stuff because it's hard. Everything hard when you don't know how to do it. But if you see somebody that's a real good pool shooter and you be like, man, how you get that good? They start laughing. And they gonna say, by shooting pool. You can't get better if you don't play the game. You can't tap your psychic abilities if you don't practice tapping your psychic abilities. This is why they got tools to help you train your psychic faculty, like tarot cards, runes, I Ching, cowrie shells. Then when you start getting good at those, you'll be able to go outside, and then you can hear the way that the wind rustle the leaves tells you something about the weather pattern.
And speaking of that, family, I'm gonna do this because it's important that we change things up. We have 4,200 people in the chat tonight. I'm gonna take, you know how we take commercial breaks? We're gonna take another 60-second spiritual break to just listen to the sounds of creation. You know what I'm saying? And for those who leave, you weren't meant to be on this live in the first place. And those who stay, we know you were meant to be on this live. This isn't just entertainment, family. We're serious about this shit. Regardless of I'm being a spiritual hype man or not, we're serious about this shit. So we're gonna take a 60-second break. For those who ain't serious, you can leave, no problem. Love you all. Appreciate you when you staying here. For those who want to stay, stay. But we're gonna take a 60-second break to get into some sounds of nature and sounds of the universe, and we'll be right back to close out the show. We got about 12. I'll be so hyped after I do that, family. I come back. When I come back up, he's like, I gotta calm down for a second after I come back from that. I appreciate that sound.
Hey, Rich, tell us about the piece that's holding the mic while you.
Yo, Rod, I got this from a store. I don't know much, man. I got this from the store in Manhattan, and they weren't able to tell me much. But this statue right here, I get a certain vibe, a certain energy, a certain resonance. Let me just show y'all. So this is the whole statue. It was old when I got it, and they was like, yo, this is an old joint, whatever. And I'm just like, and they showed me a new joint. I'm like, nah, I want the old joint. There was just something about it. So I was doing an interview with A.A. Rashid, and we didn't have a mic stand. And A.A. was like, yo, use the statue for the mic stand. And I was like, oh shit, that is incredible. So ever since then, I've been using it. And my interviews is better when I use the stand. I feel like I'm just more alive. I have more fun. So I want to thank the statue for just, assisting me. And, this, what I do right here, Rod.
Yeah, I was telling you earlier, she looked like she's slightly Cambodian.
Is it a sister? You said a sister. This looks like this is a dude. What do you think?
No, that's a female. Okay, you see the what they call the waistband?
Right. What, this right here?
Yep. Then you see the split down the middle?
Right there. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's how you know it's a skirt.
But dudes ain't wear that back in there? And then that
No.
Ooh, okay.
That's a 100% female. Now remember, most of these priests is masquerading as women.
Somebody said no boobs. As an American man, the first thing I would think about is where the fuck the boobs at. Somebody said that. You know what I mean?
All women don't have big boobs. All women don't have big boobs.
Right.
But when you look at the earrings, the hairstyle is the beehive.
Yeah.